Hey everybody, welcome to NoDQ&A video. Thanks as always for watching. I have an important announcement about NoDQ&A video, but I'll save that until the very end, so make sure you stay tuned. For now, let's get right down to your questions. Just out of curiosity, what stopped Batista from being on your top 25 list? Not that I have a problem with it, just wondering what he was missing to be up there. That's a good question. Looking back at the list, I felt maybe I could have included a few other people that I didn't, and Batista's definitely one of those people. I mean, he was a major superstar in WWE, especially in 2005. I mean, he was red hot. He had some good matches. I mean, great matches. He had that Hell in a Cell match with Triple H. He had a few other great matches, one of them being with Undertaker at WrestleMania. So one could very well argue for Batista to be in a top 25 list, and perhaps I made a mistake. I mean, when I came up with the list, I was trying to think of guys that that had the overall package, and I guess Batista just fell short of my list, and I definitely have had second thoughts about it, and I really feel that perhaps I should have included him on that list. Now, if he ends up coming back to WWE at some point and continues to be a major superstar, then it'll be a lot easier to include him in a top 25. I just think that from a historical standpoint, I felt that there were other guys that were deserving of the spot just as much as him, if not more. Why is WWE keeping Triple H off-air on Raw and only doing pedigrees during off-air segments? Now that Laurinaitis is gone, I'd like to see Triple H back in a more permanent authority role. Well, the thing with Triple H is that they have him in a storyline with Brock Lesnar right now. So beyond that, there's really no point in him being a regular character on Raw. As long as Brock Lesnar's not on WWE television, you don't need to have Triple H on Raw every week. I mean, you have him on every now and then, every couple weeks, to keep the Brock Lesnar storyline moving along, and they've had Paul Heyman on Raw to keep progressing the storyline. But beyond that, I mean, that's what's the focal point for Triple H right now is the feud with Brock Lesnar. And they already have the general manager storyline going on right now, where former general managers are coming back to run Raw. So they don't need Triple H in that authority role right now. So I mean, that's all there is to that one. What is your favorite Royal Rumble pay-per-view and Royal Rumble match of all time? I have to say, by far, my favorite Royal Rumble pay-per-view and match would be the '92 Rumble, just because of the Royal Rumble match. I mean, to me, that was by far the greatest Royal Rumble match of all time. Ric Flair coming in at number 3 and lasting the entire time. The commentary with Bobby Heenan and Gorilla Monsoon, I mean, that was Bobby Heenan at his absolute best. And just an extremely entertaining hour of WWE sports entertainment, wrestling, whatever you want to call it. I mean, it was just great stuff. All-time classic. And perhaps my second favorite would be the '99 Rumble, just because I was there in person, and it was a lot of fun being there live during the Attitude Era and that whole atmosphere. So, yeah. And I really like the 2002 Rumble as well, that Triple H won, and they brought back Mr. Perfect and Goldust and Val Venus and Godfather. And you had Steve Austin in there. It was just a lot of fun. So, and the 2004 Rumble with Benoit winning was really good. And the one with not necessarily the Rumble match, but the '95 Rumble with Shawn Michaels winning with the 1 foot. I mean, just the ending of that was a classic, but not necessarily the match. So, yeah, those are some of my favorites right there. I don't know if she agrees with me. No, she doesn't. She really doesn't. Yeah, I'm sorry that I didn't talk about the 2005 Rumble with Vince tearing his quad. I know that was your personal favorite. Hi, Aaron. I love your show, and it's been very popular here in Italy. That's cool. So, last episode, somebody from India, this time from Italy. Very cool stuff right there. I heard about the Hulkster breaking with TNA soon and may return to WWE 2013. What do you think about that? Please answer on video. Warm regards from the Godfather town Danino. I'm sorry if I did not pronounce that correctly. Um, Hulk Hogan has got a great spot in TNA right now, and I don't see him returning to WWE anytime soon. I think that he's gonna keep being a part of TNA for as long as possible. I mean, he's on TV every week. He's a major performer for TNA, and if he came back to WWE, I don't think that they would want him to be a regular. I think that they would want him to continue being the nostalgia act where he makes an appearance every now and then. And the thing is, he cannot even wrestle anymore, beyond just throwing a few punches or whatever. So I don't think WWE is going to want to invest having him in a match on a pay-per-view when he really can't do all that much. It's not like 2005, 2006 where he can go out there and with somebody like Shawn Michaels, he can have a passable match. I don't see him wrestling again in WWE unless it's like, one-time thing, maybe on Raw or something like that in a tag team match. But and they're not going to have him be like a general manager or anything like that. So I think he's got a good spot in TNA, although I really don't think he should be there at this point. I think that he should have been gone a long time ago. That's just my opinion. But for him, he's got a great situation where he's the authority figure and he's on TV every week. He continues to have his name out there, so it's a great gig for him. Not necessarily for the business and the future of the business, but for him personally, he's doing great. Hey Aaron, answer this in video. Do you see another invasion storyline like when WCW and ECW teamed up to take out WWE, but it's TNA invading WWE or vice versa? Well, first of all, the only way that there's even a chance of that happening is if WWE buys TNA. And even then, I don't know if TNA has enough of a legacy that WWE is going to feel that it's worth doing an invasion storyline. They might feel that so few people care about TNA that there's really no point in doing some kind of invasion. And I don't think Vince McMahon sees TNA at the level of competition that WCW and ECW were. I mean, ECW really wasn't competition, but they made a huge impact on the industry, and there was that diehard fan base, so it made sense to implement it into storylines. But with TNA, I just don't know if WWE is going to feel it's worth it. So I think it's very unlikely. Hey Aaron, love the show and congrats on your engagement. Do you think Andre the Giant was one of the most underrated wrestlers of all time and could be considered one of the top 10 wrestling personalities ever? Please answer in video. From a personality standpoint, absolutely. Andre the Giant was, like Hulk Hogan, a pop culture icon. And he's still one of those guys that if you go down the street and ask somebody to name a professional wrestler, I mean, I still think a lot of people would name Andre the Giant. I mean, he was that recognizable. And he was a major attraction. And as far as being underrated, definitely in his younger years, I mean, that guy was actually in really good shape when he was younger. And he could do a lot of stuff for a guy his size. But unfortunately, his disease got the better of him as the years went on. And it really took a toll on him. And by the time that most people remember him, like the WrestleMania period with Hulk Hogan, he was way past his prime physically, and that's unfortunate. But if you go back to like the late 60s, early 70s, I mean, he was quite the athlete, and he was something else. So definitely I would say he's underrated in that regard, just because people don't know him for being the great athlete that he was at one point. Hey Aaron, love the show. Do you think it would be a good idea to have brand-specific pay-per-views again? I know the rosters don't have enough depth, but do you think they would if they tried this format again? Please answer in video. Yeah, I really don't think that the rosters are strong enough at this point where they can support a full single brand pay-per-view. And they're already having both brands on Raw and SmackDown, and the brand extension is all but dead at this point. So trying to do a brand-specific pay-per-view would not work at all at this point. And the pay-per-view buy rates are already down enough as it is. I mean, back when they first started doing the brand extension, it was fine because the brands were stronger. You had a stronger roster. But now, it's just not going to work. And it didn't even work all that well back then. And then it got to the point where they just decided to combine the brands for the pay-per-views because the pay-per-views were starting to decline. So, and I would have, even if the brand extension was going well, I would still have both rosters on the pay-per-view, just because you want to make the pay-per-view something special. I mean, in a perfect world, you would have the brand extension with all the guys sticking on Raw, all the guys sticking on SmackDown, and then on the pay-per-view have both Raw and SmackDown performers on one pay-per-view, and that way that right there makes the pay-per-view something special. So I mean, in a perfect world, in my opinion, that's what would be done. Do you think WWE will become a better product or worse when Vince dies? That is a question that a lot of people are asking, and everyone's wondering what's going to happen in WWE the day Vince McMahon dies, because he has been at the helm of WWE for 30 plus years now. He has been the captain of the ship. So what happens when he's gone? I mean, is the company going to collapse? I mean, who knows? The thing is, Vince is clearly getting up there, and I think that for a while now he's been out of touch with pop culture. I mean, back in the 80s, I think Vince had a good idea of the pop culture scene, and he knew what was hip and all that. But I think today, I mean, I don't really think Vince gets the internet. I don't really think he gets Twitter, and I just think that time has passed him by, and I think that it would actually benefit to have somebody younger take over who understands what's going on in the pop culture world better, and just somebody who's younger who has the energy. I mean, Vince has always been a guy who runs on all cylinders, and he has a ton of energy, and the guy has a reputation for never sleeping, and he's always working 24/7. So I mean, as long as they can find somebody else with Vince's work ethic who will really commit 100% to the cause, I think WWE will be okay. I think that as long as they have somebody like that it'll do just fine. Hey Aaron, love the show. In an interview, Sting said that the reason he never went to WWE was because he was afraid Vince wasn't going to use him correctly. Do you agree with him? And if so, how do you think he would have been used if he went to WWE? I do agree with Sting to a degree that I think that if he had gone to WWE, he would have ended up like a Scott Steiner or a Goldberg, where WWE would have tried to make him a secondary character compared to the WWE created superstars. So I definitely understand where he's coming from there, and I think perhaps he was smart to play hardball with WWE, but I really think he should have gone with WWE last year when there was all the talk about Sting versus Undertaker. I think that would have been a perfect opportunity for him to come in, go into the Hall of Fame, have just one WWE match with Undertaker, and give the people a really memorable moment at WrestleMania. I think that would have been a good way for him to wrap up his career, and I think that was a missed opportunity. But as far as him going to WWE like in 2001, 2002, I think he probably made the right decision to just stay away. All right, that'll wrap it up for this edition of No DQ&A video. As you guys probably know by now, my wedding is this weekend, and this is going to be the last episode of No DQ&A video until mid-July. I'll be on my honeymoon, and not going to have time to record and upload videos, but I will still have a presence on NoDQ.com. I'll still be around to some degree. I plan on posting NoDQ&A text versions on NoDQ.com, so stay tuned to NoDQ.com. Things will continue to be running as usual, and I'll still be doing the text NoDQ&As. Thanks as always for watching, and thank you guys for all the well wishes about the wedding. I appreciate all the support from you guys, and I'll see you in July for more No DQ video. I will be back, and so will the cat.